it would happen, and the reason I think it would happen, because that's how Vince operates. He will do what you think he would never do. Okay? I've watched him take something that was just a total shit and made spectacular money with it and made it work.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of the Wrestling Time Machine by Sportskeeda. Of course, you can find us on YouTube under WrestleBinge and anywhere you get your favorite podcast. My name is Mac Davis. I am your host, along with my two fantastic co-hosts each and every week. First of all, WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Well, you almost screwed up Famer right there, I tell you.
Almost did.
WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long.
Yeah, what's happening, man?
Of course, our other guy that joins us each and every week is our pro wrestling journalist. And of course, he works at Sportskeeda as well. His name, Mr. Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
Well, I'm also, you never mentioned this, but I'm also
For life?
NW for life, brother.
For life. Look here, we got several things that are going on that I want to bring up, and some of this is breaking news today. Today's been kind of a busy day when it comes to news and things that are being talked about right now. And one of those is Tony Khan and Vince McMahon working together. There's a lot of people speculating right now that Vince McMahon may very well get back into the wrestling business somewhere, somehow, within the next year. Your thoughts, Bill?
That's a possibility, but not with Tony Khan. No, there's no way, Jose. I mean, they say nothing in wrestling, anything can happen. That will not happen. No, not going to happen. Because think of this. With the allegations against Vince McMahon, does Tony Khan want that in his company? They got this guy in there who allegedly did all this horrible stuff. No way.
Teddy, your thoughts?
Well, I feel like this. I think that it would happen, and the reason I think it would happen, because that's how Vince operates. He will do what you think he would never do. Okay? I've watched him take something that was just a total shit and made spectacular money with it and made it work. So I just ain't gonna put that down. I mean, that could happen. And see, with Tony Khan is he ain't got a clue. Okay, no. So yeah, the only thing Tony Khan needs to do is just sit back and listen to Vince. Okay, and he might become successful, but he ain't got a clue. So I'm just saying that could happen. And then I seen something today where there's something come out now that Vince has some proof where the girl signed the NDS or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and actually we're going to get into that in just a minute, because there is something about NDAs I want to bring up as well.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get finished with Vince here and the Tony Khan possibilities, I do think, and after hearing some of this, my gut reaction is Vince. One thing that it seems like is just his background is that he can be vindictive, but quietly. He can stab somebody, but you don't know that he was the one that stabbed him.
That's true.
I think that he is going to be one of those situations where Vince is going to want to stick it back to somebody. And I think that's why we may see a Vince McMahon promotion, or more likely for me, maybe a special event where he actually promotes one big master super card with all these stars and Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn running his cameras.
Well, wait a minute, Mac. Let's back up for a second, okay?
All right.
Again, with the allegations, to do what you want, what you're suggesting that Vince do, you have to have good TV. What TV company is going to? I know they're going to Netflix. WWE's going to Netflix. Do you think that Vince McMahon might approach USA with a product of his own? That I could see. Once WWE goes to Netflix, Vince romances USA, says, I've all these years, I have made sure you people got great ratings. You got a great product. Bring me back in.
Teddy,
That's
you
possible.
something you want to say? I kind of saw you biting at the bit there.
They already got TV. They've got TV through Tony Khan. Okay, TBS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they could go back to USA is going to be without a wrestling
Well,
product.
but that's what I'm saying to you. You're right. They could go back to USA, but I'm saying they already got TV. Tony Khan has already got TV. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So I think that would keep them where they wouldn't have problem getting TV because it'll be under AEW and Tony Khan, not under Vince McMahon.
Well,
all right, let me talk about something else about Vince McMahon because his name came to mind immediately today when I heard that the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, has banned non-competes. So that makes it kind of interesting to me for a lot of guys on the WWE roster and what's happening as far as what happens when an individual is no longer with a company. Bill, have you heard any more news about this? Have you heard about the FTC ban?
yes, I have. The non-competes, I think that in the wrestling business, it might not be taken the way it would with other businesses like an IBM or whatever you want to take it. I think a non-compete in the wrestling business, is usually that you won't go to a competing organization for 90 days. It's not a fully, you can't do it. It's usually for a shorter period of time. So I don't know how that's going to work because,
I just, the only way I can see that the non-compete situation would work in wrestling is if a guy leaves a company and he is paid through that non-compete time, you know what I'm saying? That while he's gone, he is covered, financially, then I don't see an issue with the non-competes. I mean, that sounds fair to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Teddy, what are your thoughts being a talent? How would you feel about a non-compete being dropped and you can just leave one company and go straight to another anytime you felt like it?
Well, I would rather stick with the non-compete. You know what I mean? At least you got, like the WWE, I believe it's 90 days there you got there.
Correct.
Well, at least you're checking it. You're collecting a check for the next 90 days because you don't know whether you can go to one company or not unless you've already worked that deal out. So when you did leave one company, you knew exactly you had a job and you were going to go right to work. But a lot of guys may get terminated. They may not, have nowhere else to go. So they would need that 90 days. They would need to collect that check, man, to try to stay on, afloat until they, got something going for them.
Yep.
I want to bring up something on a recent Raw. First of all, let me backtrack to our show from last week, or a recent show that we have done. We were talking about Sheamus and his body style when he made his return back to WWE. And during our conversation, I cannot remember if it was Bill or Teddy. One of the two of you made the comment that Drew McIntyre ought to give him a hard time about his weight, about how he looked when he came back, because he could get away with it. And that would be a great, build up in a feud. Damn if that didn't just happen. That's
Teddy said that. I think Teddy said that.
I know one of the two of you did, so it must have been Teddy. And Teddy, I'm sitting there I'm watching him, and I hear, you get Drew McIntyre up there, and he goes, "What happened to you?" And he says, "You look like you've had burger after burger after burger." And he's kind of referring to another thing in the thing. I thought it was a great promo. It was reality and it felt real. I loved that comeback. But more importantly, it's like somebody may have been listening, because I don't think anybody else even made that comment, but on this show that I can recall, to be honest with you.
Well, it was real. Okay. Look, all you got to do is look at him.
Maybe they brought him back. Maybe they brought, he mentioned that they brought him back early, and they could have set this down, Triple H and creative here, they could have set this down as an angle, and then they'll get Drew McIntyre training Sheamus eventually.
Maybe one day, but right now at this point, they looks like the feud is going to be Drew McIntyre and Sheamus against one another. So that should be really interesting. I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah, I wouldn't go with the where Drew trains him. I wouldn't go with that. I'd go with just what they got, because Drew McIntyre is so good on the microphone with humiliation. He is great with humiliation. So I think it's perfect, man.
Yeah, I think this is probably some of the best Drew that we've seen in a while, because just the way that he comes across on the microphone now seems a little bit more at ease. He's comfortable with that microphone now, and he's comfortable with laying in on people. I've always believed with Drew McIntyre, less is more. He doesn't need to lean into that accent real heavy and try to overdo it too much, because it takes away, it makes him feel less real to me. And when he can sit down and just talk like Drew would in the back, I start really believing in the guy I got on the microphone.
The big mistake, nothing against Damian Priest. I love him. He's great. Drew McIntyre should be champion.
Well, you never know. You never know.
One of the things that's probably not on our call list here is one of the most sad things I have ever seen.
What's that?
Is that Cameron Grimes has been released as of when we're taping this today, and he put a video on Twitter crying that his whole life has been made up of WWE. Before his father died, he told him that he's been signed with the WWE and made him happy, and now years later, they've just released him, and it's one of the most heart-wrenching videos I have ever seen.
I have not seen that video. Teddy, have you had an opportunity to see the video he's talking about?
No, but these guys have to understand, in this business, nothing lasts forever. Okay, you can't do this the rest of your life. You may think you're doing good, and somebody else may not see that. You know what I mean? So I feel bad for him. He's taking it this hard. You know what I mean? Golly, man.
My guess is, just based on what you were saying, Bill, my guess would be that Cameron Grimes, because he was one of the better, young talent out there. I don't think he has anything to be concerned about. Maybe not working for WWE, but how many times have we seen people leave WWE, grow quite a bit, and come back and be a superstar? So it's just a part of the path that you're going to have to take. I hate to hear that he lost his job, but it's just part of the travel to get there. Wouldn't you say, Teddy?
Yeah. And then we don't know what he might have done.
That's true too. Maybe he just wasn't working hard enough. Although he had been the Cameron Grimes gimmick. Everything that he was doing recently seemed to be working quite well.
I think they brought him as far as they could bring him, and same thing with Jinder Mahal. They may have brought him to the top of whatever they could do with him, and they just don't have any new plans, anything creatively to do with him.
Finn Balor, obviously, creative has something for him, because Finn Balor has re-signed with the WWE, which is good news, because he was a free agent basically coming up, and if he hadn't signed, a lot of people were trying to guess where he might go. I didn't think he was going to go anywhere. Did you, Bill? No, he's WWE. He's a great young man, and his influence with the younger talents coming in, they all want to be like a Finn Balor, the way he works and everything. So he's very good to have around, and he's one of these people who are very approachable in the dressing room area, and I think he's great for that company. Teddy, have you ever met Finn?
Yeah. Nice guy. Nice guy, man.
He comes across like a sincere guy. When you see him in interviews, he looks like he's almost like he's a little bit shy. You have to kind of get to know him for him to maybe talk or something. Is that about right? Because that's how he appears. But he always seems like just a straight up nice guy, though.
He is.